Can you hear me? Can you hear this more specifically?
Blue, green, purple,
What are you?
turquoise,
What?
salmon, teal.
I can't think of anything better, to be fair. You better not.
Okay, I think my audio is coming through now.
And
Let
mine
me.
good? Can you hear me?
We've been slimed, guys. We've been slimed.
Did we?
Yeah.
I'm so.
Applesauce, yum.
Oh,
What?
no,
Is
you
that all the
guys-
slime is, Ryan?
Applesauce, and it was either applesauce or pudding.
Yeah.
It was dyed vanilla pudding or applesauce. I ate both because I actually
So jealous of you.
Okay.
Man. That's so cool.
All right. Let me hit record and we'll get started here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to You Have to Watch This Podcast. I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devon.
And today we're going to be paying tribute to Michelle Trachtenberg, star of Harriet the Spy. But before we get into that, we usually take this time to talk about things we've watched in pop culture this week. We're going to take a break from We Watch This for the week and talk about some other stuff that's been going on. Before we get into the Oscars of it all, I have a story to tell you guys. Devon kind of knows the story, or the ending of it. Ryan does not. So I found myself in New York City this weekend.
So what
Yes, as one does. I made a trip out to
Randomly.
New York City. It wasn't random. A week prior, I had gone out to drop my brother off for a cruise, like vacation, in Brooklyn, and a week later I picked him up. But GPS this time took me a different way, and I ended up going through Lower Manhattan. I was like, okay, traffic's gonna suck. Traffic did not suck. Best traffic I've had in Lower Manhattan the few times I've driven through. There was no traffic, so I missed my turn on a roundabout, and I ended up down this alley, and I'm like, I have no idea where I am. Luckily, this is an easy fix. I looked to my left, and I wish I had pulled the picture for this. I ended up in front of the Ghostbusters firehouse.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
was just there. I know exactly where
Yeah.
you are.
It was the best wrong turn I've ever made in my life.
Did you try and take a picture?
I didn't get out, but I grabbed my phone and snapped a picture of it quick.
That's so cool. I love that they
So-
lean into it too. Is it? I have a stupid question. Is it a real? This is gonna be so dumb. Is it a real functioning firehouse?
It's not
now?
a functioning firehouse
Yes.
now. Is it?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Is it?
I don't think it is
Yeah,
now.
I thought it was.
Good for them. That's the firehouse I'd want to work in. then,
Yeah.
if that's real.
But yeah,
That's so cool.
that was my fun story.
I love it.
And now, every year on You Have to Watch This Podcast, we like to do what we call an Oscars bet. So each year, I usually spend the few weeks before the Oscars hyping up the Oscars and getting us hyped for this Oscar bet. Didn't do that this year because I kind of forgot the Oscars were happening so early in March. But we did the Oscar bet anyway. Did you guys get to watch any of the Oscars on Sunday?
No, I saw
Okay.
0% of them.
I've seen a bunch of clips since.
Okay.
I did not watch it live.
Let me just say they streamed it on Hulu, and I'm mad at Hulu because Hulu did not work for the live stream. I missed the first 4 awards, I think, because I was fighting with the live stream, and then it cut off right before the last 2. Like, it cut off a half hour early, and it wasn't just me. It was just Hulu in general.
What a pain. That sounds like an awful watching experience.
So Conan O'Brien was the host. He did a great job. I love me some Conan. Team
I heard
Coco all the
that
way.
was the one thing I heard he was really good.
The best joke of the night was halfway through. He's like, we're halfway through the awards. That means it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a.
I'm lawyered up.
Yep, I'm lawyered up. he did a few sketches, a musical number, Conan stuff. So ABC seemed to like him hosting. So hopefully they bring him back. But so for anyone watching or listening at home, the way the Oscar bet works is what we do is each of us takes a ballot. We fill it out to the best of our ability. And whoever gets the most points, most guesses right, wins the Oscar bet. And with the Oscar bet, we get that winner gets to break the rule of the movie that we talk about on the show is something that one of us has never seen. The winner of the Oscar bet can bring whatever they want to the show for us to talk about. It could be something we've all seen 1,000 times. We have a week to talk about it. So before we get into the results, did you guys see any Oscar films that you were very confident in your voting?
No, the only Oscar film that I've seen this year is Wicked, and I'm not confident that it won anything. There was one. Okay, I think
Wicked did win one.
I'm hoping it's original score. That's the one that I think it could have won. If it's costume design, I'm going to be mad because that was the one I was in between. Most of these, I'm going to be honest, I haven't heard of. In a couple of years past, like, I made a genuine effort to try to watch and catch up on the Oscar movies. It completely passed me by this year. I'm so upset.
Yeah, this is the first time in years that I've only seen 3 of the best pictures. So, Ryan, how about you?
Yeah, I only saw Nosferatu, Inside Out 2. I'm struggling here for the rest of them.
You saw Dune 2, right?
Yo, that's right. Dune 2 was also nominated on here for a few things. So yeah, 3 out of everything that's on here.
I will. Yeah. I will say, looking at our ballots, I have Ryan and I's printed out. I have the results from Devon's in front of me. I don't have your actual ballot in front of me, Devon. Just which ones you got right. Ryan and I both had Conclave for Best Picture. Devon, what did you have? I guess I can pull yours up on our chat.
So for Best Picture,
I saw Conclave. Yeah.
So for Best Picture, I did a big tick box over 2 that I couldn't decide.
Okay. The Substance and Nickel Boys.
Yep,
I have it up in front of me.
Between those 2.
Yeah. No. None of us got Best Picture.
Really? For none of Nickel Boys?
None of us got Best Picture. No. Best Picture went to Honora.
I've never heard of that movie. This is so bad of me. What is it?
It's the Best Picture winner. It's about a hook. It's about a sex worker and Russian. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Wow. Okay.
So I think it's an A24 film.
Oh, sure.
I will say, looking at the results here, Devon and I got Best Supporting Actor correct.
Did we?
Yes, Kieran Culkin.
Kieran Culkin?
Kieran Culkin won.
Was his speech incredible?
His speech was he dropped the F-bomb and they had to censor him immediately.
I love him. He won a BAFTA, didn't he, for this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I saw his speech for the BAFTA. That's why I picked him.
He got on stage and said the F-bomb, talking about how great his Succession co-star Jeremy Strong was in The Apprentice. But then after he won, I just kept seeing memes of Jeremy Strong like, I'm the eldest boy! Like, he won, and then he asked his wife to have 2 more kids on stage. It was bizarre.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I saw that clip. I heard that whole speech, and I honestly thought that was actually really funny. That was.
I love Kieran Culkin. I really do. I have so much respect for him.
All right. So, do we want to know the results?
Yes.
Okay. Devon, how many do you think you got right, if you had to guess?
Okay, so knowing that I got 1 right and 1 wrong, I am sure that I got. I'm sure that I got actor. No, you would have told me. I got actor in supporting role. I got actress in a leading role, hands down. I think I may have gotten either animated feature film or international feature film just by guessing, and I probably end up having original score. So my guess is I have 4 points.
You have 3 points.
Shit. Oh no.
You got actor in supporting role.
Okay.
Makeup and hairstyling. You got for the
Is
substance.
that Wicked? Oh, the substance.
That was the substance.
That has to win.
And then you had directing. Wait, no, you didn't get directing. You had 2 right.
Oh no, guys, this is my worst year yet.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
Oh. So hold on, Demi Moore didn't win for the substance?
No, she did not. Mickey.
Oh, Honora won.
Mickey Madison.
Okay. Did Honora basically sweep?
No, kinda. It swept a lot.
Okay.
It won it won 4 Oscars for directing, original screenplay, editing, and best picture.
Wow.
So that's the first time a single person has won 4 Oscars in a year for the same film. The only other person to do that was Walt Disney, and that was for different films.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. I gotta see this movie.
Ryan, how many do you think you got?
You're right.
I'm going to guess the same way that I filled out most of my ballot and just randomly say 4. Just randomly.
You underestimate yourself. You got a whopping 5 right.
Ryan, you guessed and you got 5?
Yeah.
I guessed almost every single one of these.
This. Damn it.
So Ryan, you got animated short, In the Shadow of the Cypress. I'm guessing that was just a guess. You had
that was a guess, but it was a cool name.
Yeah,
so
you had Dune for sound, Dune Part 2 for sound.
Yes.
Dune Part 2 for visual effects.
Oh,
nice.
And then Conclave for adapted screenplay.
Good.
You got none of the major acting categories or best picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now let's play the game of how many did Alan get right.
Okay, so how many of these movies have you seen this year? Has Ryan seen more than you?
Yes, because he saw Conclave.
But Conclave didn't win much. I think Alan got 8 right.
Ryan, what do you think?
That was the first number that popped into my head, too.
Ooh,
well, that's the first time you both were right about something. I got 8.
Yeah.
I had Kieran Culkin for supporting actor. I had The Brutalist for cinematography. Wait, is that right? Did I get that right? Yes. Brutalist for cinematography. Wicked for costume design. The Substance for makeup and hairstyling. Wicked for production design. Right?
Nice.
Wait, did that win costume too?
How did Wicked not win original score?
Because it's pretty much just using
all of the songs from the musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nominated for it, but
so...
it was nominated for it. It just didn't win it. I got Dune 2 for visual effects and Conclave for adapted screenplay.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Disney Devon's got to know, because I guessed Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul, because I've heard Paddington 2 levels of buzz around it for best animated feature film.
You live in the UK.
Yes, yeah, all right, that's fair. Who won animated feature? Was it Flo?
It was Flo.
It was Flo, because that was what made me pick it for international feature, because it was in 2 categories. That was my thought process.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I picked the robot one for animated feature simply because I remember all of the like hype around that when it came out.
I heard it was good. I do want to watch that
Yeah.
one.
But yeah, I won the Oscar bet. Stay
Well
tuned.
done, Alan. Hooray! What are you gonna make us do?
You'll find out.
Gonna
I
be
don't know yet.
Spider-Man 2.
I don't
It's
know
gonna be
yet.
Spider-Man 2. I know it.
No.
No.
No, probably not.
Oh.
No, I like to find
Never
things that.
guessed this.
Yeah, never guess it. I'm never gonna. If you guess it, I'm not gonna do it.
Fair.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna allude to. Like,
I ruined it.
All right. So each week on You Have to Watch This podcast, we make sure to watch films one of us has never seen, or occasionally one that we haven't seen in a very long time. Devon, this week it was your pick, and you picked originally James Bond, but we decided to honor Michelle Trachtenberg, who passed away last week suddenly at the age of 39. Devon, tell us about your pick.
So my pick is the 96 movie directed by Brownwin Hughes, Harriet the Spy. This is Nickelodeon's first ever feature film, and according to Ms. Mojo, the number 10 best Nickelodeon film. And you can cite me on those.
Wait, where'd she rank it?
Number 10
Number
on
10,
top 10
okay.
Nickelodeon film, or not top 10 Nickelodeon film. Yeah, I wanted to watch this for a couple of reasons. So first off, with Michelle Trachtenberg, I know that she's done a lot, and I know that she's done a lot that I've seen. This is the first thing I think of in terms of her, even though I understand that her later films, she is an adult. And this movie is kind of like, it's weirdly special to me. And we'll get into that a little bit later. I don't want to ruin your guys' hot takes on this movie by telling you my deep-seated history with it. But like, before we dig into it, have any of you actually not seen the movie before? Or are we talking like it's been since 96? You've never seen it, Ryan?
no.
Okay.
And I can get into why later, but yeah, I'd never seen this before.
Okay.
I had seen this. I grew up on Nickelodeon. I was more of a Nickelodeon kid than I was Disney Channel.
Same.
So I remember the orange VHS tape of this, and yeah, I grew up on this
I
film.
remember that too. That's awesome. Okay, yeah, and I grew up on the film too. I think this is, to give a little bit of hint, this is probably the first movie I've seen in theaters. And if it's not the first one I've seen in theaters, it was the first one that I was beyond psyched about to see in theaters, because Nickelodeon promoted the hell out of this thing on its channel. And I was like, oh, can I see Harriet the Spy? We gotta go. So I was so excited to see this. So with that in mind, I gotta know, Alan, how was it watching it? Oh my gosh, probably 15, 20 years later.
I was surprised at how much was coming back to me as I watched it. Like, there were just moments like, oh yeah, I remember that, and like, oh, Purple Sock Kid, like, oh, I used to do that. Like, I remember this vividly. Like, I was surprised by that. Yeah, I didn't realize how much I liked this movie growing up and how ingrained in my DNA it is.
Well, it was the same for me. I mean, it was, I didn't remember much about it, but then it started going, and I'm like, oh, right, they do weirdly spit water in each other's faces. Or, oh, yeah, most of the movie is just them faffing around. Ryan, as a man well into your 30s, what did you think of this 1996 movie meant for children?
I really wished I had watched it.
Oh, yeah?
And yeah, because this, I mean, when this came out, I would have been like 10 or 11 when this came out. Because I mean, was like a few months older than the actress, so like I would have been the age that, you know, when this movie came out, I would have been 11, so I would have been like that same age that she was. So I really wish that I would have seen this when it came out, but for stupid boy, like preteen boy reasons, I never watched it.
Oh, it's a girls'
It was
movie,
good.
huh?
Yeah, pretty much. It was funny. It was the most wonderful comebacks and horrible things to say about other people that's funny. Rosie O'Donnell was good. When I was watching this, like Kristen watched it with me because when I told her that we were doing this movie, like she flipped her lid. She was like, "Oh my God, I like that movie." And
Yes.
so like we were talking about how like for her, like this was her introduction to Rosie O'Donnell, and that kind of sparked the conversation. Like mine was was A League of Their Own. Like that was my introduction to her, and hers was this. Um, but yeah, like it was a lot better than 10/11-year-old Ryan thought it was going to be.
I love that. I genuinely love that. I have to tell you guys, this movie has thoroughly, so this, like I said, first movie I'd seen in theaters. It has completely skewed my view, or at that point skewed my view of a couple of things. So first off, I thought that Rosie O'Donnell was the biggest, most famous actress in the world after seeing this movie. Because every single person every single grown up I would talk to about it, they'd go, "Oh, the Rosie O'Donnell movie," and like, I was like, "Yeah, that has to be her."
Yeah.
So, thought that.
You
I also
mean the
learned-
Flintstones, Rosie O'Donnell?
Well, hold on. I want to take a second to talk about Rosie O'Donnell in this. What has she done before this?
The Flintstones.
Is that it?
No, she did a bunch of stuff in the early 90s.
She was in Sleepless in Seattle.
Was she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the friend to Meg Ryan's character.
Oh, and she was in A League of Their Own before this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is certainly my first introduction to her, and solidified her as Hollywood's biggest star forever. This also very much affected the level of spying I thought was okay to do in the world, and the level of like how much genuine trouble you'd be just for being in places you're not supposed to. So like shortly after this, I got piano lessons, and I just thought it was in this like big like warehouse building, and I thought it was just fine to wander into other people's offices as a 6 or 7-year-old, and I would pretty routinely, and I would just be like, "What are you doing?" And be like, "Work, get out of here, kid." And like this is like part of my DNA.
That explains so much.
Hold on, there's one more
It does
embarrassing
actually.
story.
It really does.
One more embarrassing one. This was also the first time I realized that actors were a thing. Now, granted, this is 6-year-old Devon, but I can't. So first off, 6-year-old Devon. This is Devon's first crush. Is Michelle Trachtenberg in this movie? Head over heels. Thought she was the coolest person in the world. I can't tell you how devastated I was watching a Nickelodeon interview where she talks about Harriet like she's another person. I started crying to my mom and went, "Why is she not saying Harriet? That's Harriet." And they go, "No, Devon, that's somebody else." I go, "No, she's Harriet." And it turned into a night-long conversation about how sometimes people can pretend to be other people.
This is
Wow.
giving Galaxy Quest vibes when the aliens learn about what TV show is.
That's it, man. I mean, and that's the thing is like this has such a profound effect of like that's where my first movie. This is my like first like celebrity crush. This is my first like time figuring out actors were a thing. I thought her her little bendy flashlight was so cool and so different from any other flashlight. I refused to use a straight flashlight for years.
I know what I'm
Just 'cause
getting you
figured
for
were
Christmas.
different.
So you used those like army surplus
Yes,
like
that was the
like
only thing
crooked ones?
It was the only one I thought was like a genuine flashlight. The rest of them weren't spy enough for me.
God,
Okay, but
this
back
explains so much about you.
now
this
that
explains
that's
so-
off the table, you all know we've set the scene. I gotta ask some questions about the movie. First off, before the movie even starts, maybe this is more of a question for Alan. How much of a warm hug was it hearing the Nickelodeon jingle at the very beginning of this?
I mean, you act like I haven't heard the Nickelodeon jingle in 30 years.
Have you not, or have you heard it recently?
Yeah, I heard it in front of Good Burger 2 last year.
Oh my gosh, I forgot it was there.
Yeah.
I had completely forgot and just loved that part of it. I was like, yes, give me more.
I mean, it
more
don't get me
jingle.
wrong, it was nice. Like I always like that's one of those sounds is like, yep, like that takes me back to childhood. Um No, that was very nice.
Yeah. Ryan, were you Nickelodeon kid? Was that also?
I was a huge Nickelodeon kid. In fact, I have something here to prove it that I've been wanting to kind of show off here for
So
like
happy
2
you are.
years. So I actually got slimed at Nickelodeon Studios in Florida in like 1995, 1997. So I was like 13ish, 12ish. Um, so I got a private tour of the slime kitchen at the studios where they would actually make the slime. So I got to actually like try the applesauce and vanilla pudding that they would use. And then my favorite though was the booger slime, which was
From
vanilla
Double Dare.
pudding with from Double Dare with chunks of green dyed pineapple in it.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? I'd eat that.
I'd eat that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I I did eat that in the slime kitchen. I did eat that.
So Ryan, is
I'm
there?
trying to get it back on the nail
The-
and I
the-
keep on missing. There we go.
The closest I ever got to getting slimed as a kid was I used to think that the pies in the face were the funniest thing on like
Oh, yeah.
Nickelodeon. So at one point my mom took a thing of like Cool Whip on a plate and just got me in the face so I could see how funny it was, and I did not like that at all.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta know though.
Yeah,
Like, is there video of either of these two things? Like Ryan, can we see 13-year-old you getting slimed? Alan,
I
can I
have
see you getting pied?
pictures. I will get the pictures from the next time I see my mom. I will go into our photo albums and get the pictures from that vacation. Actually, no, I have them up here, I think.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, they're in the bedroom closet.
I
I'll show them to you next show.
I do not have video of me getting pied, but if you want to see that, go back and watch our Mrs. Doubtfire episode where
That
I
was a good
pied
one,
myself.
actually. Yes.
I think I still
Worth
have,
it.
I still have whipped cream stains on my cables down here. So,
Gross. Gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, Devon, on Paramount Plus, they have the Nickelodeon. Like that's like they have a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And when you watch any of the old shows or any of the shows that Nickelodeon or that Paramount has bought and put under the Nickelodeon category,
Mhm.
depending on how old the show is, you get the classic, Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
Like you yeah, like you get that at the start. So like the last time I heard it before watching this show was like later in the morning when I was getting ready for work and I had on I think Rugrats as I was getting
No,
ready for work. Yeah.
you bring up a good point about this movie. So, am I the only one that saw this in theaters when it came out?
Yes.
I don't
didn't,
know.
at least.
I don't remember seeing this in theaters, but it's entirely possible that I did.
So, fun fact that the internet helped me remember, in the theaters, there was a short that played just before this. The short was the pilot episode of Hey Arnold.
Yes.
And you
I
got
read
to
that
watch Hey
too.
Arnold first in the theaters. However, if you watched on the orange VHS tape, after the credits are done, you get a Rugrats music video.
Oh,
Which
really?
I think is very fun. Yeah. And I now have memories of both that I forgot I even had.
You know what's funny is like 2 weeks ago, I was at a store that had a bunch of VHS tapes, and I remember looking at Harriet the Spy on the shelf,
Yeah.
and I didn't get it.
I understand. I'm not
Yeah.
upset, but
I was.
man, is it a memory.
I almost connected my like PlayStation to my CRT TV to watch this because I feel like that's the best way to watch this. And
So
then I
you
was
gotta
like,
watch this.
that's extra work. And then I just opened up Paramount Plus to watch it, and then that didn't work on my TV, so I had to watch it on Pluto TV with ads. So
Oh, gross.
And then that cut out the last 5 minutes. It was like I was watching the Oscars all over again.
So the one thing that I immediately jumped into my mind in this movie, watching it as an adult, is just how, and Ryan, you alluded to this, just how genuinely rude Harriet is to everyone in her life. I mean,
Yes.
I can understand private thoughts, but I gotta let you guys know, right? You two are my friends. I don't secretly think bad things about you in the way that this 11-year-old girl does. Like, is that a function of this movie? Did you guys also think that she was being absolutely horrible to everyone in her life? Or were you like, yeah, I get it? Follow-up question, if you think bad things about me, you have to tell me now.
So the outright horrible things were more or less to people that like she didn't really know that well. I really wouldn't consider those people her friends at the start of the show. It was just classmates.
Yeah.
The quote unquote bad things she wrote about her friends were just kind of like random one-time thoughts that she was having or heard, like sport. She wrote down like what her dad said about his dad, and that she had to help him buy stuff, which I want to get to that total amount and what he bought and how
Yep.
yeah, or actually no, I don't need to. I touched on it. Okay. So you've got
He bought a lot, didn't pay a lot. Damn it, the 90s.
yeah. So like it was just her explaining, like just her thought process as an 11-year-old character, learning about people's differences in their families. And if I had a friend who was as like mad scientist as her friend was, yeah, I would think that she might turn out to be a nutcase. I mean, that seems to be like a normal, like thought, line. But I definitely got Burn Book vibes heavily from that.
Me
and
too.
I wonder if that's one of the reasons why the plot of Mean Girls resonates with millennials so much, is because of the connection to Harriet the Spy and her. Yeah,
It's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Alan, did you think they were rude? And what rude thoughts do you think about me?
I'll get back to the rude thoughts about you shortly, Devon.
I can't wait.
I think a lot of them were rude. I also think it's a lot of just stream of consciousness thoughts that she writes down. And like, if there was if you write down everything you think and put it out there into the world, like bad things are going to happen to that. Like, imagine putting out like 140 characters of just whatever is on your mind at all random times of the day.
I can't think of anyone who does that now.
Like, yeah, like it wouldn't be good for people, guys. We shouldn't do it.
It doesn't sound good.
Don't forget to follow our socials.
Smooth like butter, that transition. I love it.
No, and I think a lot of Harriet's issues are because of like she doesn't have a healthy relationship with her parents.
No.
Because her parents are always away, and it's Rosie O'Donnell taking care of her for the first 11 years of her life. And then the mom starts to get jealous of Rosie. And then Devon, the only rude thought I can think of, you need to stop moving around so much.
I won't. I straight up won't. I can't sit still.
I wish you lived closer.
Thank you for being honest, Alan. Okay, so I want to get into the parents because that was the thing that struck me about this time. And it's one of the things I think Nickelodeon does so well is as a kid, you don't give a shit about the parents. You care about the kid. As an adult, you go, what an interesting dynamic they're setting up here.
Before we dive too deep into the parents, do you want me to ruin the mom for you now or later, Devon?
Oh, ruin her now. Do it.
So we talked about Kieran Culkin earlier on the show.
Yeah.
You've seen Succession.
Yeah.
She's Jerry.
That's Jerry?
That's Jerry.
That's incredible. Wait a minute. Did you know Sport was Superman?
When was he Superman?
Sport was Superman and Superman and Lois.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. Gregory Smith?
He was first AD.
Oh, he was first AD? Never mind. I thought it was him because I saw him and then a picture of the director's reel showed up next to him with a picture of Superman, and I'm like, oh, they're both brown-haired men with strong chins, and figured it was the same
Devin's
guy.
using Bing to do his searches.
I am. You're right. But no, I didn't know that was Jerry. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But back to the parents. I think that the parents in this movie are the problem. Like, I think they're more of the reason for any of the problems in this movie because of their relationship to Harriet, their jealousy, but then more importantly, how and what thoughts they're unloading onto this child that doesn't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the whole line where Harriet's like, your dad's just a starving artist, taken straight from her dad, who is a more successful writer and is being a shit about other writers. I hate that. I really hate that. I genuinely disliked her parents on this watch through. Did you guys have the same visceral reaction I did, or am I missing something?
I completely missed that her dad was a writer. I completely missed that part.
I didn't need to know what her dad did to not like to agree with you, Devin. Like it,
Yeah.
they are a big problem in this movie. Not to say the kids who are bullying her aren't the problem either.
No, that's fair.
But I think there's a lot of everyone in here is a problem, except for the guy with the cats.
Yeah.
No, he's pretty good. I like him. I also genuinely think that Sport has never done anything wrong. I sided with him hard in this movie. I think that this man is almost single-handedly raising his father, helping him through his writer's block and depression, making him laugh when he needs it, making him dinner, and sure, he does join the Spy Hunters Club or whatever they called themselves, and occasionally bangs a trash can, but she also just like told his family's dirty little secrets to everyone at the playground. So,
well, I mean,
fine.
She didn't. Hawthorne did.
Yeah, Marion Hawthorne.
Marion Hawthorne. The worst thing than being Marion Hawthorne is wanting to be Marion Hawthorne.
We need to talk about Marion Hawthorne at the end, by the way. Because, I mean, we can now. Who the hell chooses gravy as the thing you are for Thanksgiving dinner?
Do you want to get too deep into this?
Yes. That's what I'm about.
What do you do with the gravy?
You pour it all over everything.
Exactly. She's like the star of the show. Like you can't have Thanksgiving dinner without gravy everywhere.
Oh, is that really what that was?
I don't know. I can't back that up.
She was in the middle of everything.
She certainly was. The only one who had apparently any knowledge of ballet in that.
Yeah.
I'm mad about it. How did you guys like the dynamics and the personification of the classmates? I said not even personification, they are people, but like how'd you like the characterization of the classmates? Because I like what they did was they introduced like that's purple sex guy, just like Hey Arnold, like that stoop kid.
I liked it at the end after Sport starts to like come around to Harriet. It was weird that it was Purple Socks Kid that was the first one to stand up for Harriet and be like, yeah, no, this is a good idea. Because I just didn't see anything. I feel like there's like a deleted scene of her like making amends with him, like buying him more purple socks or like deeper purple socks.
Violet socks.
I really thought about putting on purple socks for this just so I could like lift my leg up, but it's like I don't bend that way, and not on the internet and not for free. Yeah, I have like a pair of like Hulk socks that are purple.
That's very cool. Ryan, how'd you feel about the other kids?
I mean, they were fine as other kids. They set up every. I mean, I don't really like. I didn't really think too deeply on that one.
That's fair.
It was
That's
just,
fair.
oh, look, a class and her classmates. But to jump on to what Alan was saying, that was kind of weird at the end, where it was like, yeah, I can understand why Sport like kind of like came around a little bit, and her other friend, because she did at least like try to apologize to them.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm watching it as a 39-year-old, I'm thinking to myself, like, why is everyone backing her up now? Like, they
Mm-hmm.
showed her apologize to two of them. I don't think she would, like, they didn't really show anything. Like, they didn't show her going to apologize to anyone else. I'm assuming it's inferred that she did. Or to Alan's point, like there's got to be like a deleted scene, like another montage of like instead of her playing with them, like it was her going around to them at like different times. Um, yeah, so like that. I mean, besides that, as an adult, I found the Spy Hunter thing kind of annoying, but it's a Nickelodeon movie made in the mid '90s, and kids banging on like trash can lids was a thing. So I mean, I can't knock it too much for that because that was, yeah, that was
That's fair.
1996.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fair. I mean, it it took me a second to get the ending because it feels like her actual apology comes in the form of like the letter she writes as the editor of the paper at the end. And it
Hmm.
didn't even seem overly heartfelt. She's just like, I would like to retract previous comments. Blanket statement. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to uncut that lady's hair.
But at the same time, it is very mature.
It was. It was. She definitely does grow through this movie. We can definitely
Yes.
say that.
Yes.
Well, she definitely did because when they started filming, she was like 8. And then when it went to screen, she was 11. So I mean, yeah.
Okay, so we got to talk about filming because I did the thing and I looked at the IMDb trivia and goofs. Did you guys catch the filming location in the movie at all? Because I
No.
actually did. I actually did in this case.
No.
Okay, so they filmed in Canada,
Okay.
and the reason you know they filmed in Canada is that in one of the scenes where they're walking through a park, there is a Canadian flag-shaped topiary behind them, and then apparently some of the shots are just like of Toronto landmarks and skyscrapers, despite the fact that it's supposed to be New York City, which I love.
That
And then-
explains some of the cars.
Dude, tell me, Cars. That's a really Ryan statement.
Okay, so there were a few French cars that were just
Okay.
parked on the sidewalk, just parked along the street or driving by, like traditional French branded cars. And yeah, I was just like, okay, that's weird, but it's the mid '90s and whatever. So I just kind of rolled with it.
This is what they had.
It's a
at the time.
Nickelodeon show. It's low budget. It was probably someone on the crew. It's Florida or Los Angeles. People have weird cars, so it's probably like the Boom guy's car or something that they had him drive by.
It's funny you bring up the Boom guy because his boom makes an appearance 24 times in the original cut of this movie.
It does.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Release the boom cut.
Well, it's the 4x3 format of the movie. If you get the 4x3 format, it's in there 24 times. He's also seen in the shot where Sport is doing chicken noises for his dad. He's in the shot, just there.
Wait, hold on. So on
Yeah.
the VHS cut of the movie, you can see the boom guy?
The boom. You can see the boom.
You can see still, like,
Yeah.
explain that. Like, why can I not see it in the widescreen then? Like, that's
They cut
so
it.
bizarre.
Yeah, it's only visible one time, and that's when she realizes her notebook is missing after her and her friends play bumper tag outside. It's in the top left corner, it like comes in. But
Wow.
otherwise, in the VHS version, 24 times. Oh, I love it. And that was fine. Like, that was totally fine. I didn't catch it at all when I watched the movie. The fact that he's even in the shot, in the room with Sport and his dad, didn't catch it. Didn't even catch it as an adult, to be fair. Did you guys see him? No?
Catch what?
Did you see the boom operator
No,
in the
I
shot with
didn't.
Sport?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. But he's supposed to be in there, which is fun. I don't. To be fair, we all liked this movie. What did you think about the amount of faff that they did in the movie, though? Which is what got me this time, because I was like, oh,
Faff.
just nonsense in the movie. Like, the movie is like, okay, let's set up the characters. We're gonna set up the world. We're just gonna play in the garden for like 10 minutes, and then like, okay, now we're gonna go to school. We're gonna introduce the plot and the other characters. Yeah, we're just gonna play here for a while. And like, there was a couple of times where it just kind of cut to like very funky music and just kids playing. And I think from a kid's perspective, it's fun. From a plot perspective, it kind of drug the movie.
Yes, but that is very Nickelodeon for the time. So the
Yeah.
movie was filmed between like 1994 and 1995. That was towards the end of my prime, like watching of Nickelodeon, for certain shows, and a lot of the live action stuff, like the in-betweens, was very similar. Like I remember feeling when I was watching this, I was like, yeah, no, that this is definitely like a Nickelodeon film during those moments.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So, Devon, I want to take you back to the theater in
Oh, no, let's do it.
1996. Here's what else was playing in theaters. I want you to tell me if you would still see Harriet the Spy if you were given these other four options in
Okay.
theaters instead. The Cable Guy,
Mm.
Mission Impossible, The Rock, or Independence Day.
What a packed theater.
Yeah.
That is such a good lineup. I would stay there all day. I think as an adult, I'd roll one to the other. That's such a good lineup. I like all of those movies.
Also, The Nutty Professor was in theaters. Hunchback of Notre
Ooh.
Dame, Eraser, the John Travolta Phenomena.
Eraser, I love Eraser. That's a good
I've never
one.
seen it. If you want to write that one down. I've passed up on a lot of John Travolta's career.
Yeah. So Harriet the Spy was the 10th best, highest grossing film in July of 1996. Followed number, like, I could just look at this whole list and pick movies for us to watch. Number 11 was Multiplicity with Michael Keaton.
That's fun.
And Michael Keaton. I think he's in that too. And then number 12 was Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal.
What a solid summer for movies.
Right? Yeah.
Wow. I'd say the best way as an adult, I loved it as a kid. I loved it as an adult. How they end the movie. I love ending it on just them dancing to Get Up Off of That Thing by James Brown. Which, like, sure. What a good way to end it.
I missed that because it cut out.
Did it?
Yeah. It cut out during the
no.
gravy scene. Like she's typing and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, you got to see them all as the onion and the carrot and the gravy boat just dancing to get up off that thing. And it was great. I loved it. Ryan, good ending to the movie?
That sounds familiar now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta be honest, I don't know what else to talk about what more to talk about this. I loved this movie. I'm glad we watched it. Very sad about Michelle Trachtenberg. Do you guys have any other movies from her that you know her from? This was my gut reaction, was Harriet.
Ryan, how about you?
To be honest, not really. She, almost everything that she has been in was stuff that was like on the outside of what I was watching at any time. So, like, even though I was in the right age group to like watch Buffy and trying to bring up the stuff that it has. So, like, I had friends who were into watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Was never into it. I was very disappointed with Inspector Gadget when that came out. I was a fan of the cartoons, wasn't a big fan of the movie. Euro Trip I never watched because I watched Road Trip, and I was like, oh, look, a European version of Road Trip, I can pass.
Ryan doesn't know.
I was in No, I know about that. I know enough
Okay.
about the movie to know about
Okay.
that. Yeah, so like, and everything else is just stuff that like never like either interests me or I just missed.
Mhm.
I
So,
will. So I learned some like since her passing, I learned something that she was in. I was like, I never knew that was her. Do you guys remember like one of the first Robot Chicken sketches with the gummy bear hopping through the hills and it gets
Yes.
trapped in the bear
it was
trap
her.
and starts screaming? That's her. That's
Yeah.
her voice.
That's her.
Yeah.
That's very funny. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Um, I liked her. I liked her on Buffy.
Mhm.
Um, she was one of those actors that showed up in a bunch of different things.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't realize she was in Cop Out, the Kevin Smith film.
Oh, you know she
She
was.
she plays Bruce Willis's daughter, I think. Um, but she was always good to see. Like every time I saw her, though, I was always like Harriet the Spy. Like that's what
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Or like she was in the Adventures of Pete and Pete, Snow Day. I remember,
She was
which
in Snow Day.
which
Yeah.
I guess was supposed to be the Pete and Pete movie at one point. Like that
Was
got
it?
redeveloped. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it's sad to see her go.
Mhm.
Yeah. I Devin, have you watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
I haven't.
Okay.
No.
You
Is
you
it worth a watch now?
I think it is. Yeah. She doesn't
Okay.
come in until season 5.
Okay.
Um and her character was controversial at the time because it's the
Interesting,
5th
okay.
season of the show and she plays Buffy's sister who shows up out of nowhere.
Oh, weird.
But that's the point. Like that's the whole point of it.
Oh, that's the point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool then. I like that. It's a mystery. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do they explain eventually why she showed up out of nowhere?
No, but I have a very strong fan theory about it that I think was what they were going for. They just never confirmed it.
Did it end abruptly, Buffy?
No.
Oh no, they ended it the way. Okay.
No, I
Okay.
think they hint at it. They just never give you the answer.
Got it. Okay. I
So-
gotta watch this thing then. That would
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah. Is anything else we want to talk about?
I think I'm good, to be honest.
All right.
Ryan?
no, I'm good.
All right. Well, that does it for this week's episode. Next week it is my pick to pick something that one of us has never seen, and I apologize, Ryan, but I've been holding off on this one for a while now. I am not using my Oscar pick. I'm not using my Oscar bet win yet. But we paid tribute to Michelle Trachtenberg this week. Next week, I think we need to pay tribute to Gene Hackman. I don't think we need to do a triple, but
Okay.
I am going to make you guys watch the early '90s Western Unforgiven, starring Gene Hackman, Clint Eastwood, and Morgan Freeman. Have you guys seen this?
Never. I
I've
haven't
heard
even
of it.
heard of it. I
Okay.
haven't even heard of it.
So
Okay.
that'll be next week. I will be getting that out and watching that on the VCR. So,
Good.
but until next time, you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel where we stream these episodes live. We're going back into Twitch streaming here soon, so stay tuned for that. Surprise, guys. I think my computer can handle it now. So until next time for You Have to Watch This podcast, I'm Alan,
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devon.
and we'll see you next time.